It was a big promise that we made, that we wanted to show 10 companies, and we did today. We showcased 10 companies. They came from 4 from the UAE, 2 from the US, 2 from Singapore, Indonesia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan. It's a accumulation of the work that we're doing across the region. If you have followed Presight, you know we grew from the UAE to about 11 countries. So it's through this network that we get a feed of startups. They went through a rigorous selection process with Microsoft, MBZ UAI, and the Presight team to find solutions that are applicable today. So there are many AI startups today, large valuations about what we can do tomorrow. One focus we have that's aligned to what Presight does is finding applied intelligence products today. So these are the companies that have a proven record, some level of MVP, an ability to deliver value to the clients. We brought them to Abu Dhabi. We introduced them to the ecosystem in the UAE. They met clients, they met private sector, state-owned enterprises, and the client says, my God, these are good companies that we should have in the ecosystem. So this is cohort 1, 10 companies. We'll open up cohort 2 quite soon, and that's another 10 companies. And I hope with this, we create a momentum or sustain this momentum that we're doing to be able to bring companies into the UAE and then springboard them into the emerging markets.
Well, Thomas, when we talk about an accelerator program, there are an abundance here in the UAE, regionally, globally as well. What are you doing that's different? Where have you identified the specific needs of these startups in order to scale?
So when the Presight Accelerator program finds companies that are accretive to Presight sector, so we're in the government sector, financial, energy, smart city. So we find companies that are good to this. Second, we're unique. One, because with the UAE US AI campus and Stargate UAE being announced, we have compute that is a scarce resource that they need. We have a strong leadership that's driving AI adoption in the UAE. We have the G42 Presight ecosystem that supports the expertise. And then we have clients. So one part is very different from what we do is we allow these startups to come into our clients and create value. And it's been 4 months in the program. We have about 70 leads generated for them. And I hear some of the contracts are about to close. So to be able to show good value and alongside gives me a chance to try before we invest. So alongside, we launched the Presight Shuruk Venture Fund of $100 million to do follow-up investments as well as to broaden up the investment space of it.
I want to talk about a couple of different aspects you mentioned there. One was the compute power that you're giving them access to. Why is this so important for startups that don't have access to this? What is the cost or the challenge involved?
I think access to compute remains a challenge across the world as AI adoption goes. In the program, the startups get access to Microsoft Azure Compute up to $150,000. So that's a springboard to start. But that may not be enough to scale to a national or large enterprise level. The fact that the G42 ecosystem, including Core 42, which supports UAE's core infrastructure in AI clusters, allow the startup, if they do well, they get a client to scale, we have the ability to push. So there's no impedance. It accelerates every move. Should we meet every criteria that a startup is able to deliver value?
And with startups, you spent so much time investigating which ones you should be investing in, putting your resources into. There is such a plethora of AI startups at the moment. In fact, there's a lot of talk right now in Silicon Valley and other places about overvaluation in that sort of sphere. So what are some of the gaps that you want to see startups, AI startups specifically, looking more into? Where are you seeing some of the major opportunities?
Well, I think the biggest part of it for startups is do you bring value today? Many of them are promising solutions for the future. But I think if you could look at the journey you're taking and deliver value today, because AI's promises is about intelligence today. It's not about infrastructure. It's not about large language model. It's what you do today. That's the lens that we look. If I see a startup, I see what they do. I look at the portfolio of clients I have, and I say which one of it, would deserve to be given the startup, or how much of it we can make a difference to, and then apply it, and then let the clients decipher if there's value to it. So we get a bit of view on that. Second, of course, where the fund is looking at, we get a much broader scope. Y Combinator's will say in 10 minutes you should know whether the startup is worth investing or not. So we get a bit of two. We are a operating company. We're focused on delivering value that is giving impact today. So that's the lens we look. But the fund allow us to take bigger bets to maybe a more moonshot investment.
You mentioned that you're 4 months into the AI Accelerator program at the moment. What have you seen so far in terms of achievements as you're, 2 months away from the end date of that?
So I'll give you some examples. We have Ajari from Indonesia who's building a pedagogical education AI model. And there we're seeing announcement in Azerbaijan, Ministry of Science and Education adopting that. We have Waverity, a AI model for seismic and reservoir cube analysis. We're already having conversations with ADNOC. So it's not about us, it's about us creating a platform that they can reach our end client. And I know I'm repeating this, but if the end client sees the value, that's the true part of it. So I'm quite happy to report out of the 10 companies we have, at least 7 of them are seeing actual deals being generated and formulated for them. So, in the next 2 months, inshallah, we'll see where the actual rubber hits the road.
And 2 months from now, what is your continued relationship with those startups?
So some will become partners, some may become part of the Presight portfolio, but definitely they are in the Presight family. And then we'll go on and look at cohort 2 and mingling the two, the different solutions together. They are finding partnerships within the cohort. It's almost like a networking and business development for them. So I think it's a family of innovators, trailblazers that we're building, and hopefully that forms a key part of Presight's foray into innovation, and that is part of the culture that we're developing.